Hello everyone, Mike Shoesmith here. I'd like to talk to you guys about David Suzuki. Some people call him a scientist, others call him a naturalist, others call him a environmentalist or a zoologist. Me, I like to call him a child abuser. Not in the we should press charges against him and throw him in jail forever child abuser. I don't want to be guilty of slander here. But in my mind, he's a child abuser nonetheless, and he abused my daughter. When my daughter graduated from college, David Suzuki was the commencement speaker. And when he got up to the podium, he told this auditorium full of young people that they were nothing more than animals. In fact, he claimed to have been run out of Houston, Texas for this very same speech he was about to give, because he called their children animals. And David Suzuki became famous in the 70s for referring to people as maggots on the earth. And he's Canadian, well, he's Japanese Canadian, he lives in Canada. And David Suzuki became the darling for the liberal movement in Canada, referring to people as maggots on the earth. And he's quite proud of the fact that he's got this reputation. And that he wears it as a badge of honor that people in Houston, Texas would not tolerate his type of abuse towards their children. And so I wanted to make this video and express my concern that David Suzuki has not only abused the children of Canada for decades now, but he has abused my daughter personally. And this is how it went. It's not pretty what he said, but I'm going to tell you what he said anyway. David Suzuki got to the podium, and after telling these children, my daughter included, that they're just animals, this is what he said. And if this doesn't shock you, I don't know what will. But he told these college graduates that he grew up in British Columbia, and he used to frequent the forests and the jungles of British Columbia. And he used to go there, and he said, now these are his words, he said that when he was growing up, he was a very horny teenager and a very horny 14-year-old. And when he was a horny 14-year-old, he used to go out into the jungles and the woods of British Columbia to masturbate. And he claims that is when he fell in love with nature. And his charge to these college graduates was to protect the natural areas in their spheres of influence, so that future generations of horny 14-year-olds can have some place to go to masturbate and fall in love with nature. And this was David Suzuki's commencement speech to my daughter. That's child abuse. I can't think of any other way to put it. That's child abuse. And the more evidence we see coming out of the scientific community today, which exposes the tremendous amount of evidence for intelligent design, and the mass rethink that is going on in the scientific community today toward everything that they've ever believed about origins and design and evolution. When asked about the evidence for evolution in so much as it happening today, show us the evidence. The evidence they come up with is, well, bacteria evolved the ability to digest certain types of food. Therefore, fish became men. And yet, what all it exposes is the fact that the only evidence they have for this deep time evolution theory, which says and teaches children that fish became human beings, is bacteria becoming bacteria. That's their best evidence. Yet it's no evidence at all. It's just evidence that adaptations happen within a kind. That's all it is. There's no evidence for the deep time fish to men theory that they are teaching your children and mine. There's no evidence for that. There is only evidence for intelligent design. That is the only evidence that exists. If you take all of the human fossils that have ever been discovered on the face of the earth, you could fit all of it, into the back of a pickup truck. And they're just bone fragments, and you know, they would have to make room in the back of the pickup truck next to the grinders that they use to grind down the evidence to fit their hypothesis. So at the end of the day, teaching children they're animals is child abuse. It is child abuse. People are not animals. The animal kingdom is a separate kingdom from the class of human being that was created separately from the animals. Your children are not animals. And if David Suzuki is telling your children that they're animals, that their highest goal in life is to protect areas where other animals can go to masturbate, if David Suzuki is telling your children that, then David Suzuki has abused your child too, as well as mine. David Suzuki, guilty of child abuse in my opinion. It's my opinion, folks. It's my opinion, and I'm entitled to it because I live in Canada, and David Suzuki lives in Canada, and I'm entitled to my opinion that teaching children they're animals is child abuse, teaching them that the highest calling in life for them is to protect their areas of influence in the natural world so that future generations of 14-year-olds can go someplace to masturbate. That is child abuse in my opinion. In my opinion it is. And I'm entitled to my opinion. My name is Mike Shoesmith. Thank you for watching.